Hey everybody, how's everybody doing?
Good, good. What's going on, Brian?
Not much, man. Living the life.
Yo, what's up?
What's
Morning.
going
How are you, Ryan? How are you? You good?
on? Good, man. You sound tired? You
Uh,
sleeping?
no, brother. Today I had a good rest. I'm full of energy. I'm ready to any challenge.
Hmm.
But I can say same about market. Market today is suck, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's take a look at everything. All
Yeah.
right, let's see. What's up, guys? I'm bad. Can't sit on my hands. Taking 1,000 trades. Oh God. All right. You wanna you wanna talk about it?
I explained how did it, or how do it. I explained to her. It's so fun.
It's not easy. You gotta have
Yeah,
some
to be
Therapist
some
Brian here.
It's got to be some patience. It's hard though. It's not something I can really teach you. You kind of just have to do it, and make it kind of a habit. Otherwise, if you make a habit out of being impatient, it's got a pretty bad effect on trading. So we're gonna have to figure that one out, man. Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think why are you executing so many trades, I guess?
uh, I think it's gambling, bro. It's like it's same feeling. Yeah, I don't want to say something like bad or hard, but I'm sure it's absolutely same feeling. Because when I was in Russia, I was working with people who was like gambling players, yes, and
Yeah.
I really I feel their character, and their mindset, and I understood like people who came to trading. Like I think 19% have same mindset, and
Yeah.
people every time look at the charts and they think, oh, okay, it's like opportunity, I need to take it, and like every time, and yeah, it's bad habit. You're right. People need to fix it.
It's a tough one. I know he's not the only one. There's people who do it too that don't say anything. That's fine. And there's a lot of people out there in general who just kind of struggle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know how to kind of help people through it, because if you got the edge and you have an idea and you've actually narrowed down a trading window and you kind of from the technical side and from your framework side, it's good. It's just a matter of like impulse control and
Yeah.
like trying to check yourself. If you can't, that's the whole kind of you versus you scenario where you're kind of just getting in your own way, and it's gonna make it pretty hard to it's gonna make it pretty hard to, actually get the results that you want. And it'll be a never-ending kind of battle. Like you're always going to be struggling if it's a total overtrading problem. To be honest, I think most of the trades are valid. At least most of them, just a bit risky counter trend. I mean, if you stuck to pro trend only, obviously it would reduce the amount of trades that you can take, but it might be a good way to kind of get started on finding that kind of patience, because it's something you're gonna have to kind of really dig deep and find, because if you don't find it, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's never gonna work. Trading is just won't work. It's not exactly forgiving, this trading stuff. All the stuff that helped me, when I was dealing with kind of FOMO and just your typical trading ailments like that, the things that helped me the most were just simply um, getting away from the charts as much as I possibly could. Just kind of setting my alerts, walking away, not necessarily getting too um like while actually live trading, just not being completely there all the time. It's really the only thing that really helped me. Can't really imagine not doing that. Like even on these calls, I say it all the time, it's a struggle. Like if I get into a trade and I'm on one of these calls, it's very hard for me to just not sit there and overmanage it. I have to leave it alone because I know myself. So a lot of it's about protecting my own kind of protecting me from my own self.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you do have to be aware of what those issues are before you can do that. Why is it this? Oh, sorry, 1 second. All right.
I think if we always will have same problem in our community, probably we need to find some psychologic analytic, you know?
Yeah, probably. Need to get some sort of like the thing is with the trading psychologists, like in the trading space, none of them are qualified. None of them have like doctorates. None of them have gone to school for this. They've just kind of gone through the markets and I don't know, regurgitating stuff they've read or something. It's like while some of them are probably good, some of them might have the right idea in terms of being actionable and putting people on the right path. I just don't know what their qualifications are. And when it comes to like the mind and trying to sort yourself out, it's too easy to set people on the wrong path and make them feel like they're doing something productive, but in reality it's just a waste of time. And it's like the whole, oh, you work on trading psychology, that's what your problem is, but really you don't have a trading edge. Fix the trading edge, then you can work on psychology. But some of these trading psychologists just don't really, I just don't see how they could possibly know enough from the scientific, you know, perspective, having gone to school and studying, to actually help people kind of essentially rewire the way they think. Like the people you see on Twitter, there's just no way, unless they've gone to school. Maybe I don't really know, but
I kind of have a mindset approach to fixing it, if I may speak on it.
please, dude.
Um, you know how when you look back at yourself, you like, let's say 5 years ago, you think about something you did and you're like, ooh, that was kind of cringe type of thing, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, as you level up as a trader, you look at certain actions that you used to do and you're like, ooh, that was kind of gross. Like risking 5R on a trade, right? You're like, I would never do that now.
Oh, it's a bad idea?
Oh yeah, of course, Unless you want to just bet the whole house on it. And so it's like to level up even faster, you kind of have to create that thinking for yourself in a faster way. So you're like, oh, in current time, within like a month of learning something, you have to flip over into that like, oh, that's stupid. I would never do that.
Yeah.
And I've kind of forced myself to create that mindset like, oh, counter trend trading without 4 hour front leg? Oh, that's stupid. I would never do that. And
Yeah.
it's like a month ago I might have done it, but I had to kind of force myself to rewire into that.
I like that. That's kind of
I feel like
like,
once you get strategy down, like with the whole psychology thing, once they tell you that you define your edge, cool, define your edge. But at the end of the day, I feel like we can hear from our coaches and peers like experiences like, oh, do this for what you're currently going through. It's something that we all go through. But at the end of the day, like I think a big issue is that fear that sits within each trader while they're getting across that each one of those bridges. That like you have to go through it, and that fear prevents people from like pressing the trigger because they don't want to feel it. But like the answer is feeling it. You have to feel those losses. You have to feel those moments where you fuck up. You have to feel those moments where you're like, oh wow, okay. Like you have to see what you did wrong so it doesn't repeat itself. And it's all part of that learning process. And I like that's something I just went through. Like, but it really is just like you have to feel this so that you know what not to do, not just off of somebody's words, but like from putting your
Yeah.
feet in that water yourself, if that makes sense.
Traders tend to learn the hard way. That's just kind of the nature, character trait of people who think, I can do this in the market. They tend to learn the hard way. And not for nothing, but some of those lessons are best learned the hard way. And it's kind of like I like the way Ryan's got it, like if you convince yourself that only an amateur would do something like that, and then every time you do it, you have to be aware of what that actually feels like and means in the moment. And so there's this guy that I used to work with, right? I think I've told this story at Phantom before, so maybe some of you guys heard it. But he used to say, so working in Washington, D.C., everybody is super liberal. You can't say certain things, right? Like back in the day, you'd say, "Oh, that's retarded," and that was pretty normal, right? This guy, and I don't really care either way, but this guy never really grew out of it, and he didn't really know his audience too well. And he was from Virginia, not that that matters, but he just spoke pretty openly about that stuff. But every time he did it, I was always near him because he was my coworker, and I was kind of by association, people look at us as like the IT team was, they were crass. They weren't politically correct, whatever, whatever. So he would say it all the time. Oh, that's retarded. This is retarded. Blah, blah, blah. I got to the point where I'm like, look, dude, it's not making us look good. I need to figure out a way to stop it. And maybe you guys can try this too. But every time he would say it, I'd get up, I'd in front of him, go to the whiteboard, and I'd have this, I labeled it Josh's R counter. Every time he said retard, I did a tally. And by the time he got to like 6 or 8 or something like that, he'd completely stopped and he never said it again. So maybe you just have to actively get up and just physically do something, convince yourself, hey, this, only an amateur trader would do this. I'm not going to do this. I shouldn't do this. And then just get up, mark it on the whiteboard, mark it in something in front of you that you will see every time you walk into your office, into your room, next to your computer, every time you open your phone, put it on a background screen on your phone, add a new tally every time you fuck up. And maybe it'll help you kind of see it the way, Ryan's got it pointed out there, where it's a it's like a rewiring of that type of behavior is associated with that type of trader, and you don't want to be that type of trader. Worth a shot. Who knows if other people are dealing with it, but
Hey man, a good punch in the face is also good, eh?
yeah. Who said that? Like it?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, hey,
Okay,
dude.
Brian, I'm sure you can think at the moment about me because it's like my profession,
Yeah, all right, look, here's the deal,
Guys,
guys.
if you need help, you can write me,
Yeah, Vlad will come visit you and give you a swift kick to the face. Oh man, that's funny,
It
dude.
usually works, man.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I mean, look, not everybody loves this, but there is one of the best ways to train a dog, not that you guys are dogs, is the shock collar. And you don't do it in a way that hurts them. It's very small, it's gentle, but they don't like it. But there has to be some kind of, but obviously not a punch in the face or a shock collar, but there has to be some sort of stimulus, something that is kind of outside of the trading environment that's going to say, hey, dude, you messed up. Like, and it's going to call you accountable for it every single time until eventually you're like, you don't want that call again. You have to find some way at home while you're by yourself to do that thing because you know, what's the one thing I say all the time, right? I'm trying to build solo traders. Yeah, the community is awesome. Yeah, these calls are great. I love talking with you guys, but at the end of the day, I want you guys to be able to leave, go and be that trader for yourself without somebody having to punch you in the face to say, "Hey man, don't do that." There has to be some way for you to find that level of accountability for yourself, but then not only to just do it, but to like practice it over and over again until eventually it just kind of dissipates. It's always going to creep up here and there. That kind of happens, right? It's kind of like deep-rooted, trauma. It'll eventually creep up a little bit, but your ability to suppress it, put it away, come back to reality and do the right thing should be a lot easier. But it is going to take like a lot of practice, just like a lot of practice. But I don't know. Not easy. It's definitely not easy. Negative reinforcement, yeah. Well, us fortunate people to have Asian parents know all about that all too well. All too well. Brian, you're telling us a story about how you approach the markets will help a lot. For example, how long you traded pro trend only before trying anything else. Yeah, Ryan, I'm part Cambodian. My mom is straight from Cambodia. She had a rough upbringing with all the all the stuff that happened there. But yeah, very, very strict. What are you, Ryan?
My parents are from Hong Kong.
Okay. Yeah, you know, you know, you feel the
I
pain.
know. I'm
Just
the
hide.
third child though, so I got it easy. My brother's got it
Oh,
real
okay.
rough.
Oh, okay. I got it. I was a second child. My brother was a golden child, my older brother. He did everything right. Best at sports, best at school, just did everything right. I was that follow-up kid.
They always call the first child the project.
Yeah. That's what it was, man. He got it rough though. I did skate by a little bit, I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
Second child life though. All right, let's see here. Sorry, hold on. So yeah, maybe telling us a story about how you approach the markets will help a lot. So I'm a firm believer. I'm recording this, right? Yes, okay. Wait, is it? No, it is. Okay. I'm a firm believer that the best traders happen to be the best problem solvers. Sometimes that problem solving is going to be in relation to the technical side, right? Develop a pattern, develop the framework for when you apply the pattern, the management side of things. Those are all different problems. You have to be able to see what that problem is, though. Like you can't answer or fix a problem unless you've clearly defined it. So that's a big aspect of it. So that's the technical side of it. From the personal side of it, when I was trading, I'd always have certain problems, right? Everybody runs into the same issues. Everybody's got FOMO, everybody's got over trading issues to start, everybody's got an over leveraging problem, over risking problem. These are all problems, right? That don't get us to our end goal. Our end goal is profitability, whatever that looks like to some people. Maybe it's supplemental income, maybe it's the complete replacement of income, whatever it is, right? There has to be some goal that everybody's going for. The more clearly defined, generally, the better. When I first started, all I cared about was like, hey, can I replace, I think it was either my phone bill or like my car bill or whatever it was. Right. It was like basically like a couple $100 a month. It's like, can I realistically make enough profit to just cover some of my expenses? And then that was a goal. So it was an easy, clearly defined goal. If I made enough money on my personal account, I'd pull it out and I'd literally pay the bill with that fund because it gave me this sense of like direct impact. My trading is directly impacting my life in a good way. My finances is all set. Eventually, it became the mortgage. Eventually, it became like finishing off my school um, loans, stuff like that, right? So I had specific financial goals. I didn't really care too much about replacing my income altogether. I cared about just kind of improving the general quality of my life and not have all this debt over my head. So I worked at chipping away at it, and that's kind of what my main goal was. But that was a problem that I was just trying to solve, right? When it came to the trading ailments, I kept getting on one of the big ones, just I kept getting on the wrong side of the market, right? I was like, why am I trying to trade short here when it's clearly been long? That's kind of where catalyst for pullback came from. So I have a clearly defined problem. I look at the data and say, why am I losing these trades? I'm on the wrong side of the market. Why am I on the wrong side of the market? well, because, so and so said supply zone from that back leg over, well, it wasn't considered a back leg at the time, but from back then, 6 months ago, is telling me that I should go short from there, right? Okay, that's clearly wrong. Why is that wrong? Well, because every time it hits these levels in the middle of the leg, it's just giving a reaction, but it's just continuing up. Catalyst for a pullback. It's just a pullback, it's continuation. We should be trading the realignment after that tap. Okay, cool. Now I'm mapping everything from the back leg. And that in itself starts to become messy and a bit of a problem. So, like, okay, how can I just trade the continuation without mapping everything from the back? Because sometimes it's at the extreme level and I think it's supply and I think it should go short, but then it doesn't. It's just another catalyst for pullback. Oh, okay. Let me just follow the front leg. Who cares about everything that's happening on the left? So, everything, I think one of the other things too is like, well, how long can I hold the trade for? Can I hold it through the other supply zones? Internal range liquidity became a concept. It was just all these ideas for how I could fix certain aspects of my trading led to edge development. It led to certain aspects of the edge that gave me kind of more confidence and built a belief system around how and why I should trade the way I trade. Eventually, pulling everything back, stripping it down to the most essential kind of components of trading, and finding the most success by just simply being able to show up at the right time and say, hey, look, all I care about is the front leg. As long as the M5 aligns, if I can get a tap back in here and it gives me a signal for long, I'm in. It's easy, right? So there's a lot of like stuff like that will really help. And another problem was over management. And I still suffer from this. Like I'm a big over manager. If I sit here and get in a trade and I watch a trade and it pulls back even a hair on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, whatever, I really don't like it. And I don't want to sit there and watch it go against me. But if I set an alert and walk away and I get an alert that I hit a stop loss or a break even or whatever it is, I don't feel any of the stress. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But if I'm watching the candle print up and down, left and right, it just gives me anxiety the whole time. And it's not something that I can change at all. All I can change is how I approach it in my environment. So there was another problem, and I solved it by simply setting alerts and walking away, right? I have to be able to trust myself that all my analysis ahead of time is good, right? I have to be able to trust that I got into this trade for a specific reason. I'm supposed to get out for a specific reason somewhere else. I can't make up stuff in the middle of the trade just because I'm feeling something. And the only way I could fix that was to just simply get away from it, right? So I don't know. But I hope that helps. You let me know.
That's what I'm going through right now, Brian, is the over management part. I think that's where I'm at in my journey.
Okay.
I've been smacking everything accordingly ever since I've just gone straight to pro trend. But the over managing, I'm realizing is starting to cut into the profit that I should be making. And the only thing to do is really step away. Like I just tried to do everything else, and it's like if I'm near my computer, like even when I leave, like I still have my cell phone or my iPad, like I carry that around, and that eases that soothes the like the wanting of checking the charts. But
Yeah.
it's just like, but it's at the same time, man, I feel like it's like one of those processes. It's a process that like it feels like the other ones. It's just like I just got to go through it and I just got to chip away at it and I have to come out of it myself. Like I have to make the active decision to realize, okay, this is a problem that I'm having, just like any other problem in life. And the only way through it is to fucking get through it and like analyze certain things that can help me avoid it. And so I'm just kind of I'm riding that wave right now.
It's not easy, dude. It's really not. But the more self-aware you are, generally the better, right? So
Yeah, no, it's not even like a depressive like it's like state of
yeah,
feeling. I'm glad like that's the thing. Like I feel like at this point these things that I've been mentioning is just through like self just building your personality. It's just like cover yourself. Like when you were younger, you got older and you were able to figure that out. It's the same thing. Like we have gone through a process of kind of like rewashing of who we are, how we think to become traders, and like we rewired ourselves. Now it's still like a process of like discovering who are we as traders, who are we under these kind of under certain types of pressures that it's either fight or flight. Like how do we react to that in those moments? And it's just like character building.
It's true, man. I think a lot of people are probably going through that too, to be honest. I imagine they are. I get that impression. Everybody else could let me know, but I think it's a common journey. I don't think a lot of people make it through though, because I don't know. I don't want to toot my own horn and say, it's a matter of the proper guidance and people being more realistic about what they say to people. I think there's too many people say things just to I don't know if they've actually gone through it necessarily. And I think they regurgitate a lot of stuff that they've heard from wherever, YouTube or whatever it is. And I think that's super misleading for a lot of people. Like I don't consume a lot of trading content outside of just what I do here. So you guys would have to tell me, but on YouTube, on podcasts, Spotify, whatever you guys are listening to or reading or watching, like what are some of the things that they say to do? Like if you have FOMO, if you have an overtrading issue or over management issues, like what are some of the common kind of solutions to that stuff? I don't
I
even know
think
if you
it's
guys
a
watch
little
that
bit
stuff.
about philosophy, like always a lot of different people say, like philosopher, answer always inside us, and
Yeah.
he is pretty same thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people do say good things. I honestly couldn't tell you. What did Yoda say? Yoda said,
Yoda.
"Must unlearn what you have learned." What is a what does Kamala Harris always say? What does she say? What is her thing? God damn it! People are always making fun of her
Must
on the
be
internet.
unburdened by what has been.
Yeah, thank you. It's so funny, man. You can. She's got some pretty interesting sayings. I'm not sure what's kind of going on, but it's pretty funny. Oh boy. Yeah, read trading books. Trading books. I, look, it's funny because I have probably too many opinions on trading books that I haven't read. So like my opinion probably shouldn't be considered that much. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who align with some of the things I said. Like I've heard a lot from Umar Ashraf, and when it comes to the trading edge versus psychology argument, I was pretty surprised to see that he's on the same page as me. And it's funny because um, when I listened to it, I'm like, oh, cool. Like I'm not the only one. Good. Because I thought everybody was like brainwashed and just unaware. But it's clear when I hear people say stuff like that, it's like they've been through it. They're not just making stuff up. They're not just saying stuff to say stuff that they've heard somewhere. And then Jack Schwager, he was on a podcast recently, and Riz brought up the question, if there's an argument between what comes first, trading psychology or trading edge, and someone like Jack Schwager, who's interviewed the best traders in the world, says edge comes first. So there's a lot of stuff like that where it's like I've never heard it before, I've never read it anywhere before. It's just this is what I know through experience, and logically, I feel like it's the only thing that actually makes sense. But it's kind of nice to see. But then there's a bunch of other trading books. Like I've never actually read uh what is it? Trading in the Zone. Not Trading in the Zone. What's Jack Schwager's book? The one with all the Market Wizards one. I've only read a few excerpts of it, but and maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I should read it, but I do believe that the more you put stuff in your head about certain things, that it just gives you this kind of idea that it's okay. Or maybe you haven't labeled a certain thing that is, mentally challenging for you. And then all of a sudden you read about it and now it's labeled and now I feel like it just becomes more and more of like a thing for you to latch onto. But maybe I'm wrong. For me, it was just like, hey, I have these problems. I got to go solve these problems. And then I realized, Phantom was the first kind of real journey into the world of public trading. I didn't really even know that trading was a thing on social media or anywhere else. I never heard of ICT before Phantom. I never heard of trading on social media being such a thing. And all of a sudden I got like immersed into it. I'm like, holy shit, these people are crazy. But I don't know. Yeah,
Right.
market wizards.
I don't remember. Did I ask you about this or no? How you enjoy to Phantom?
How did what?
How you start?
Oh,
How
Phantom,
you
how to
start
join
to
Phantom?
yeah start to be like a Phantom member? Like how you did.
Yeah, so what was the thing? When I first started finding a bit of success, I was trading Wyckoff.
Uh-huh.
Wyckoff was kind of like my first thing. I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And I see this pattern a lot, and it made sense. And then I was trying to see if there was any components that I could add to it from more of an intraday perspective. And I stumbled upon guerrilla trading. And I went to guerrilla trading for about a week. I saw everything in there and kind of realized it wasn't for me. But that was the same week that Brad Wise had left guerrilla trading.
Mhm.
Um, After he had left, and I left about the same time, I didn't really know who he was or what kind of role he was playing there, but I heard my social media started becoming, this is when it started transforming into like a trading, everything on my feed was trading related. Um, I saw one of his posts pop up and I messaged him like, what do you think about Wyckoff? And then we just started talking and he didn't know much about it and we started talking about it and from there, yeah, it just kind of happened. He's talking about how he's was at Gorilla and then he was going to start his own trading community. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I just kind of told him I was a little interested and a couple of weeks later he invited me to see if I wanted to be part of it. I was like, sure. And
Mm.
that's kind of how it started, yeah.
So probably we can say like you created it together, yeah.
Well, he won't say that.
Yeah.
But I was there before the doors opened up.
Mm.
But I didn't even meet Kevin for the first probably month or two. Dude was so mysterious. He just went by Phantom. He wouldn't tell anybody his name. I'd never seen his face. I never heard from him. And then
I
also,
think I noticed it's a lot of I don't know what is this, but a lot of different people try to do same like ICT after ICT like everybody fucking everybody even in Russia every fucking mentor like oh I don't show my face, it's like no my what is going on, I don't know, shit, it's so funny
it's weird, man. It's
oh,
totally weird. I don't,
yeah, yeah.
but I think, I think I don't know. I don't want to
I
say anything
believe
that's
if
negative about it.
I believe really, if people don't show his face in public social media and don't show his name, uh, it it can it can talk to us like about some scammers, maybe plans or something like this, because it's not good. If people open, you can trust. If people don't open, it's always about some questions, what he wants and for what.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of signs for people to not be who they say they are, and I feel like I don't know. I like to think that I attract people with a good judge of character. They tend to be more on the professional side of things. Phantom kind of attracted like I don't know. I mean, one Phantom, sorry, they're $54 a month. There's like thousands of people in there. There are like children in there that probably shouldn't be trading. Like sometimes I get a little worried, like Gianmo, he's like 14. I'm like, I don't even know if he's legally allowed to be in here. Maybe he is because
Mhm.
like, are you even allowed to trade legally? I have no idea. It's like I don't want to get in trouble because you're here. But it's like there's a lot of that stuff with Phantom. And then, but yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why, Kevin wanted to hide so much. I think it was also because Brad originally, right, he created the course. He did everything. I don't think Kevin really even did anything. So I think he was not fully up to speed on maybe the strategy or I couldn't tell you to be honest. He painted it as he had a conflict of interest because he still worked or was still contracted by the broker that he worked for. And I don't necessarily know if that's true or not. I couldn't tell you, but that was the excuse as to why he was always kind of behind the Phantom name and never really came out until like basically 2.5 years in or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Aaron was one of my first kind of students who really picked everything up, and I was like, wow, this guy's interesting because he like it always every time he spoke, I was like, it sounded like he was in my head. I was like, this is weird. He just kind of understood what I was saying. Yeah, Ryan, I remember coaching you. I've always remembered your name. I always kind of kept a pulse on your comings and goings of Phantom. I coached a lot of people at Phantoms. Quite a few people coached.
I think pretty a lot. I'm sure like all our community, like almost, you know.
Yeah, I'm curious if anybody here is like had not been in Phantom. I feel like that'd be interesting. What is this even doing here? These are all old drawings. Is anybody here not from Phantom?
I was I was even banned one time in the Phantom.
You were banned?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I will explain you later in text message because I think you will listen about this. I will explain.
I mean, it doesn't take much to get banned in Phantom. They're banning people left and right now. I think if you question anything, they're just like they just totally shut you out.
No, I
It's
think
like,
Kevin or Brad just doesn't like my social media.
oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it doesn't take much. They had their tinfoil hats on like 24/7. It's kind of impossible to be around. It's like, look, man, that's just the way this goes. Relax. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
like wary of
Vlad
everybody.
went somewhere and beat the shit out of him. That's why he got banned.
Uh,
Maybe I don't know. No, to be honest, I am active really only here in Phantom. I didn't. I
yeah.
wasn't, cause I don't know, but I think I didn't like the space in Phantom. I liked only Brian's videos and all what I do is only where I was waiting when Brian just released new video, you know. That's it. And Brian left Phantom. I was so happy, and at this moment I really figure out, okay, this guy really has to open his own community, and I will be first of the first people
Oh
who
man.
come to this community. I decided.
I almost didn't open this. I didn't really kind of want to at
Really?
some point. I was like, I want to,
Bro,
but
you
I
literally
don't.
changed my life, bro. You literally changed my life. Like, I'm not
Really?
even trying to be like funny or like any of that crap. Like on a dead ass note, you changed my life. So I'm glad that
Really,
you did
dude?
do that. Yeah, bro. I messaged you like 2 years ago. Like and like you can even go back on it on like yeah, bro. Yeah, you changed my life. That's all I gotta
A
say.
few years ago?
Yeah, I messaged you like 2 years ago. Like I was like well, not desperate. I was just like, there's a lot behind it, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah, you changed my life. That's all I gotta say. And I appreciate it.
Sure, man. No problem. It's always weird for me. I don't like compliments. My Asian mother told me to just sit there and exist, so I don't like being complimented. No, I'm just kidding. But no, that's good, dude. I'm glad, man. And look, the thing is like I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this because I wasn't sure how all the blowback would go from the Phantom side of things, and I wasn't sure people's kind of general taste of the whole situation went after how Phantom kind of played out in the end with all the different strategies, all the different coaches, all this different stuff. I just kind of got the impression that people are just kind of sick of trading communities and mentors and all that kind of stuff. So I was pretty hesitant. Wasn't sure if I was going to do it, but yeah, I am glad I did, obviously. But it was definitely a concern.
I can say I think I and everybody in our community really pretty happy. Like you
Yeah.
decided decided do it, and how Gil say too. I'm sure your strategy and in general, like your mindset can help a lot of people. Because
Yeah.
we all sometimes feel some fucking painful, and sometimes bro, I spent 9 fucking years. Of course, it's like not 9 years like every day, cause 4 years I spent in prison, for example, and
Hmm.
even there I really learned trading, and even there I was trading. Like I tried to do it, but
Yeah.
it was really crazy story. But I wanna say I spent really a lot of years for all this stuff, and only now I really find like myself in this world, and I really I feel it like I achieved some peace, and for me it's like wow, and I'm sure it's same with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me is like, I know people aren't going to pick up on it immediately. I know people aren't going to be profitable immediately, but
Yeah.
as long as the framework is in place and there's this kind of light at the end of the tunnel for them, it's kind of what I'm going for, at least for now, right? And then over time, whether it's on your own or still here, that you keep pushing with that framework and don't change too much and you just try to find that consistency. Um, Everybody's going to move at different paces. Everybody's going to learn differently. Everybody's going to pick up on different things, easier or harder, depending on how it's said, when it's said. And, there's just so many different factors for different students who are looking for that kind of success. And it's going to come and go. Like obviously, and like let's be real, like in the first couple of like month or two here, like people were smashing it, and then the market died off a little bit. And when the market died off, old habits started to creep in, over refinement started to creep in, things started changing a little bit because people wanted an answer for every single loss. But the problem is that when this stuff happens, the edge changes a little bit. We got to be really careful about that because this isn't phantom. You can't have an answer for every single thing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to a specific edge, there's going to be times where it just doesn't play out. It could be a couple days, could be a couple weeks, could be in periods of low volume, could be periods of like extremely high volume where it doesn't come back for us. And that's kind of one of the downfalls of the edge or an edge, just any specific edge, right? You have to have the patience and the selectiveness to actually execute it at the right time, the right place, in the right market conditions. And that piece of it is always going to be discretionary, instinctual. It's going to be subconscious experience. Like you're just going to have to keep pushing forward, but you can't lose that faith before you get there because if you start strategy hopping again, you're going to find yourself right back at the same spot, and that's pretty tough.
Hey
Yeah.
Brian, quick question.
Yeah.
So I really like on so I started trading futures. I
Hmm.
love that on TradingView you can just set the price and do the whole percentage of what you want to risk and it does it automatically for you.
Yeah.
What can I use for like I have like for currencies I have memorized, the 0.25, 0.26 point, certain stop loss numbers. But when it comes to like, trading, like if I was to trade another instrument, like what can I use? Is that what magic keys are for? Like what can I use for that conversion rate
If you want to
of what I
trade
should be using?
for Forex,
Yes.
so if you're trading MT4, MT5, you can use magic keys. It'll automate all of that in real time. So you just hit the buttons and as price moves up and down, it'll keep calculating your lot size based on where your stop loss line is.
Mhm.
Um, but if you're not using MT4, MT5, there's not much you can do unless you're trading on TradingView, I guess. But like if you're using
Okay.
like the X trades or one of those prop firm kind of
Hmm.
platforms, they might have some stuff built in, but outside of that, you're probably out of luck.
Okay, just do it
Um,
essentially just in your head.
yeah, just get your average. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
with futures. I
That's
think
usually what I do.
we calculated on the call yesterday. I think it was like 10 points versus 20 points versus 30-point stop loss. And like for a 50K account, that was like a difference between 3 contracts, 5 contracts, 8 contracts. So just
Hmm.
find some kind of average. You might be slightly over risk or slightly under risk, but on the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter too much.
On futures, are you risking your whole 1%? Or like for example, yeah, are you using your whole 1% on your account per trade, or are you using 0.5 or on
If
your
I'm
prop from
being
loans?
honestly, if I'm being totally honest, I'm just risking like a set number of contracts
Okay,
per
okay, okay.
trade.
Yeah, yeah,
Unless
yeah.
if my stop loss is way too far away, like it's a really quote unquote expensive trade, there's a good chance I won't even take the trade. I'll wait for maybe a scaling
Right.
opportunity so I can reduce that. But I'm just for ease of like, because I still technically feel like I'm in a kind of a studying phase even though I've been trading since May and it's actually been going really well, I feel like I'm not quite totally confident yet. So I'm not worrying about calculating risk too much. I'm just saying one contract here or like three micro contracts here, just going like that, which may or may
Okay.
not be the best idea if I'm totally honest. So, but if you were to risk
Well,
on a
no,
prop
that's what
account,
I usually do with Forex. Like I do just like for each for like for my 100K accounts, like I'll just do like 10 contract or 10, 10 lots just per 100, or you know what I mean. If I'm doing the full one,
yeah.
trying to get it close to the 1%. If I'm doing the full, trying to get to the 5% or 0.5, then I'll just do like 5 contracts, and then
Hmm.
yeah, like but I've realized like the futures is, bro, it's so clean to take a trade compared to Forex because like
I
that
know.
spread is so annoying, dude. I'm like, yeah, it's I was like, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I can't lie.
It's
Like,
and then the data feed is so clean. The way it
yeah.
prints, it's just like you can feel it. I don't know.
Well, it's just in the executions where your stop losses are, where your take profits are. All of that stuff seems really seamless. And it's like, I
Mm.
think what I was saying yesterday on call was like, it was like getting out of a toxic relationship. I didn't know I was in a toxic relationship until I met somebody much nicer. I was like, oh, that was terrible. Got it. Cool. But now it's
Yeah, you
like,
can identify things that you're like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not so bad, and it works well, especially being in the US. I have like reputable brokers. I don't feel, scared to put my money in. And I know if I request payout, it's not proper withdrawal, it's it's relatively seamless. They have processes in place. It's not like a kind of, Hail Mary kind of, am I going to get my money out? I'm not really sure. Because I forget what broker it was, but when I lost IC markets, I was toying with a bunch of different brokers before Ox Securities, and I forget which one it was, but I put some money in, and then I was like, I don't like this broker. I want to pull my money out, and it was like 5 grand, and they dragged their feet on that so hard. There was like they had a million different reasons as to why it was delayed. It's like it's just $5,000. Like if I can't get $5,000 out, how the hell am I going to get 100 grand out? How am I going to get anything else out? There's no way. So Ox Security has been good, but there's still just this underlying like kind of feeling of like, well, technically you're still kind of like an offshore situation. They're regulated in Australia, but not in the US. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't really know. It's been fine so far, to be fair. But IC markets, yeah. If you have IC markets, they're kind of like the gold standard. If I had IC markets, I'd just go to IC markets. But that's again, it just makes a better argument for futures for me because I can go to TradeStation, I can go to TradeAvate, I can go to all these future brokers. All their data comes from the CME. It's all the same. I don't have to worry about weird spread issues or anything like that. The only thing you have
Can I
to
ask
worry
you a
about,
question about that?
yeah, yeah.
So, why would we not trade currencies on futures if it's much
It's low volume.
okay, low volume,
You could
understood.
trade. You could like if we looked at what was it M6B? M6B is the GU futures. But if we hold on, I gotta share my screen. One sec. Can you guys see my screen? M6B.
Yes.
M6B is the GU micro futures. Just kind of check. See, this is the 5 minute. There's no volume in this. And maybe it's fine, but it's just a little and that's fine. If you go to the 1 minute, we're looking like this. So you can trade currency futures if you want to, but again, there is not a lot of volume. And if you ever get like really good with trading currency futures and you actually start trading with large capital, getting filled on positions is going to be harder and harder. Like trading one contract is probably no issue. But if you want to trade like 20, 30 contracts, 40 contracts, you might only get partial fills. You might not get full fills. And that's not really something that you want to deal with and spend, the next 5 years mastering just to put in a bunch of capital and be like, oh shit, like I can't even open up a full, position size on this. So NASDAQ is arguably, I think definitively the most traded futures asset. I'm pretty sure it's got the highest volume. So there's not too many issues getting filled and stuff like that. And the spread's good. And the only thing that's kind of tough is when I don't know, are you trading prop, personal? What are you doing with futures right now? Demo? Do you?
Me, prop. I'm using prop. Yeah, I'm doing the
Yeah,
my
sorry, you're kind of
futures, I
breaking up a
think.
little bit though, I think.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah, no, I'm driving. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
using
Yeah.
prop
So
firm.
you shouldn't have too many issues then because it's all technically simulated for now. Um,
Okay. Just learning.
but you longed NQ when? Just recently? Wait, have I missed a trade? Oh, from down here? This guy? Too busy on calls, meetings. Yeah. Somebody else sent me this trade. I'm like, I'm freaking talking to an intern at my funded futures, trying to explain what I do over there. I missed the trade. I was kind of bummed.
Yo, Brian.
Who's that? What's up, like a
Like, hey, man. I wanted to ask you, do you know like another prop firm aside from my funded futures? Because they're not like I cannot use them in my country, and I wanted to like get into futures
where are
and
you again?
Serbia.
Oh, I don't
Oh.
know.
The guys that won Olympian championship in water polo. Yeah.
Hey,
My boy
so
Vlad is near me, eh?
Yeah, Russia,
My
Russian.
brother, my brother.
Look, I think with this question I will help you, cause we have, I'm sure we have same problem, cause Russian in banned list a lot of in a lot of firms, and I found couple, and just text me direct in circle, and I will help you with this question.
All right, brother.
thanks, Vlad.
All right, thanks, man.
Welcome. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for some countries because they are technically
Brother, in USA it's same.
banned.
You know, how I noticed really a lot of different prop firms don't want to provide any service for US clients because here a lot of problem with regulations. You know how.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to avoid some regulations problem, you can ask me and I can help you with a couple Russian accounts. You know, in different
Oh
prop firms.
God. Good
Jesus.
luck. Good luck. No comment. Yeah, I mean one of the tough parts is there's like in the US that's one thing. US is whatever, but in a lot of other countries like Iran or like Pakistan and all this stuff, there are legitimate traders who want to earn from platforms and they can't because the whole country's banned because unfortunately what happens, and I even think Russia's banned in a lot of platforms, um, what ends up happening is group trading. There'll be like 30 or 40 people who will get together, buy accounts. Half of them will long CPI news release, the other will short it. And then if they're all funded, which a lot of times at least, a large portion of them get funded, they just hedge, reverse trade each other on that. One group, one half of the group loses their accounts, the other group makes probably 120 grand in profit. They just split it amongst themselves, do it all over again. And it's not just one group. Like a lot of these countries have like 6, 7, 8 groups of these people doing it, and then it's so hard to track and avoid. But the patterns are there, so then they end up having to ban the countries. It's pretty kind of sucks. I know I'm pretty sure like I don't know if Peggy's in here, but Peggy Pretty sure her country is banned and for one of those reasons, and now she can't just trade like some of the prop firms. Kind of sucks, but it's kind of you get a few bad apples, kind of ruin it for everybody else. Pretty sure Vietnam, Cambodia, like a Laos. I think a lot of like Southeastern Asian countries also. Later, 10A. I think I'm probably gonna call this one pretty short. We had a call Wednesday, Thursday, yesterday, and then today. I don't want to drag this out too long. I think we had a good, productive call. There's not much setting up on the markets right now. The only thing I am looking for is if price does want to come back, preferably to this level for a break theory on GU. So where it's unlikely though. It's already noon. This is going for the 4-hour high, apparently, and I'm not in it. Jonathan's in it. JT's in it. Jesus. Oh yeah, that's definitely going for a 4-hour high.
It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's
structure
break down the
play.
NQ trade.
Yeah.
Let's break this down. So NQ, right? While we haven't come into a 4-hour break theory, we're still bullish. And I think what's being traded is the realignment to the upside. Excuse me. I'm choking on something. There's an M5 substructure realignment that's in session is kind of I'm also thinking here for Jonathan JT. I didn't personally take this trade. But we have this, I believe, is their M5 break theory that they're trading. They can confirm. And if you take the VWAP from the low to the high, I don't know, did you guys map it from here, from here, from here? Probably would have mapped it from here. Or maybe even the main low. And then
I'm not really using it though, but
say
yeah,
it again.
I'm not using the VWAP, but
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. The VWAP just kind of helps kind of keep you out of bad trades because if this stays below VWAP, there's a good chance it's going to continue lower. But if we can stay above VWAP, then there's a greater chance it'll actually trade in our direction. So that's kind of how we've been
Did
using it.
Did you ever check out that program I told you about?
No, I didn't.
Bro, it is if you like the VWAP, dude, this is just like so freaking it's so accurate, it's so like smooth. It's just like just read about it. It gives you all the information on how the program is built and just like and you're a data guy, you'll understand like you'll be like, holy shit, it's just nice, man.
Yeah.
Especially with the currencies, like it literally gives you the trigger of like when to get in. Like that entry model is it gives you the trigger to the correct one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As long as it's not like extremely like lagging indicator, that's kind of what
No,
matters
it no. The way he went about it, he combined a whole. Read about it. Just read about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Jonathan, JT, is this how you guys saw it?
yeah. I kind of entered with a stop limit though. So when we got the mitigation of the entry model that you mapped out, I put a
Okay.
stop limit above the high. Yep.
Like kind of like here-ish. Did you cover the demand or the sweep?
No, I covered the flip.
Right here then. Nice.
Yep.
See, this kind of I was saying to I forget who I was saying to. I think Dorian or Javon, somebody new from yesterday. All of that, the old model with the supply reaction, right, and the failure and all that stuff, it's still all in here. You're just clean it up a little bit, keep it a little bit cleaner so we don't have to focus too much on that. What are you guys targeting? Fib, 4-hour high? What we got? Oh, well, Fib's way above that. Yeah, 4-hour high would be my target then. Just got to survive the pullback.
Let me ask you a question. What's your opinion on Euro, Brian? Do you think it's a little bit it's like washy? Like I've been trading it. It's something that I trade, and I've been trading it. I traded it all London this morning in New York. Um, and I just feel like it on the 1 minute, it's kind of washy. It's not as like straightforward as GU,
I
if
mean,
that makes sense.
so technically EU is like a much heavier traded asset than GU, right? So summer months may impact it a lot more than what you'd see on GU, perhaps. I couldn't say for sure, but I don't like EU really at all. So I've kind of always felt that EU didn't quite play nicely with the way I like to trade. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that or the volume for the summer or what, but I mean, like if you look at the M1, it's pretty wickish. Generally speaking, like
Hmm.
every single candle uh is resulting in like an immediate kind of pullback. Like there's not a lot of volume in this, or there's not a lot of restricted kind of, well, I guess, I mean, there's some imbalance here, but generally speaking, like this is a lot of kind of rangy PA. Like every
Oh,
single high,
trust me, it's been
immediate
it's been
pullback.
it's been rough. It's been a rough hold compared to when I trade GU.
Yeah, I
Like
just
all
don't.
morning, I've been like, oh, the pullbacks and God, damn, and it's just been like,
Well,
all right,
that's why we don't watch it, right?
yeah,
Because if it
yeah. Well,
eventually gets,
you've been up since like 3 a.m. though, going at it. Like it's just kind of like you
I don't know how
sometimes.
to do that. That's too much. But as long as it sets up and you get the M1, and I mean, you can even look at it, just like looking at it, there's something about it just looks a little off. I couldn't tell you what. Maybe it's the way the candles are formed, or maybe it's the fact that every single buy candle is met with immediate sell candle, like all the time. There's a bit of movement here, but obviously maybe there's London. Yeah, I don't know. Just throughout London here, like this doesn't look good. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just low volume through summer. Couldn't tell you. Like GU's better, but not by much. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna pop off, guys. Keep this one short, but I hope you guys have a great weekend. And yeah, we'll chat soon. I think what I'll try to do next week is I'll try to put maybe some like intro to futures, like super quick 2-minute videos together on different topics. If there's any specific topics that you'd like me to cover, just drop them in general chat. And then I'll try to just cover them, and I'll try to start putting them together, because I know a lot of people are interested in getting in. And obviously, you know, it's probably pretty obvious I'm getting more and more into futures. I'm starting to like it a lot. And I think as a group, it's important to be able to be flexible and trade multiple assets in different markets. So I'd encourage everybody to kind of get involved. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll chat soon, all right?
Yeah,
All
Brian.
right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers. Have a nice
Thanks.
weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have
Later,
a good
guys.
weekend, guys.
Take care.